Well, the city is getting prepared ahead of the potential weather. Tomorrow, Mayor Greenberg will join the National Weather Service to announce what their preparations will look like.
JCPS also today sending out emails about their snowy weather plan. JCPS teachers are sending out the emails to parents about taking Chromebooks home in case school is called off. But first, keep in mind, with the holiday on Monday, JCPS is already closed, so that's good news for a snowfall. Don't forget the new policy at JCPS we've been reminding you about this week. No more delayed starts. It's go or no go now, and NTI days will also be an option. But the computers will be with the kids in case an NTI day is needed for Tuesday.
And you'll want to stay with Weather Aware with us heading into the weekend. Just download the WHAS11 app. It's available for free right now in your app store.
Right now, all new today at 5, a Louisville woman responsible for setting a deadly apartment fire in 2017 will now spend 46 years in prison.
Denisha Peden pleaded guilty last November to 3 counts of murder and 1 count of arson and wanton endangerment. Now, you may remember back on December 5th in 2017, Peden set fire to a 6-unit apartment building in the St. Denis neighborhood.
The fire and smoke engulfed the building. A mother and her 2 children died. 3 other people jumped out of the windows to escape. Alexis Jones and photojournalist Jessica Farley covered today's sentencing.
After 7 years of waiting, loved ones finally received some justice Thursday, including one of the victims who escaped the deadly fire in 2017. While in pain, she mustered up the strength to address Peden in court.
You have made me a puzzle that'll always miss 3 pieces.
Sky Riley, now a teenager, still debilitated by the memories of her past.
It feels like a dream, like I'm in a coma. The most haunting memory is when I realized that I got out, that they did it.
With tears rolling down her face, Sky recounted the moments she lost her family on December 5th, 2017. She says her mother's screams got her out of bed, followed by the sound of smoke alarms. During the fire, 41-year-old Archimeda Riley managed to help her daughter escape through their apartment window, but she and her 2 other children, 16-year-old Savannah Cooper and 11-year-old Cameron Harris, died from the fire.
He was our legacy. And now he's an ancestor. He's our ancestor, 11 years old.
Last year, Denisha Peden pleaded guilty to intentionally setting the apartment building on Shanks Lane on fire. Thursday, a judge sentenced her to 46 years in prison.
This time I will follow the agreement and follow the Commonwealth's recommendation.
Peden's charges include 3 counts of murder and 15 counts of wanton endangerment. She must serve each concurrently without parole. Before leaving the courtroom in handcuffs, Peden heard from several more loved ones. Despite her lack of emotion, some showed her forgiveness.
Because it's the only way that we can get through.
While others say no amount of time will be enough. However, defense attorney Ryan Dissinger says 46 years is an appropriate length of time for his client.
But in my time with Miss Peden and speaking with her, I've known her to be kind, thoughtful, and sorrowful.
In the end, Judge Brian Edwards had the last say.
And I hope you listened to every one of them. And I hope you felt those words.
In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS11 on your side.
In Scott County, Indiana, detectives say they do not believe foul play was involved after a man died in a house fire. Indiana State Police say it happened at 8:30 last night in the 1000 block of West Herod Road in Austin. Firefighters found his body when they entered the home. Indiana State Police are investigating. Late today, they identified the man as 61-year-old Robert Bowling Jr. of Austin, Indiana. Here in Louisville, a home in the Irish Hill neighborhood destroyed after this early morning fire. It happened on Hull Street at about 5 a.m. Hull runs right off Baxter Avenue in the Highlands. Louisville firefighters say everyone made it out of the building safely, but they're still working to determine a cause.
And we've been seeing a major increase in winter fires, and especially fires that have turned deadly. And as firefighters respond to these incidents, they have continued to share safety information with us and the public. Louisville Fire gave us this message earlier in the winter.
These colder months, it's really imperative to be safe in your intent to stay warm. Space heaters, if you're going to use space heaters, make sure that you're keeping a 3-foot radius clear around those space heaters. You don't want to have any type of material that is combustible that can catch on fire and cause a fire.
Now, half of all home heating fires occur from December to February, and 1 in 7 home fires involves heating equipment. Like Captain Sims said, keep items away from space heaters or heat sources, and test your fire and carbon monoxide alarms at least once a month.
We showed it to you as happening as breaking news last night on the WHAS11 night team. An attempted traffic stop by Louisville Metro Police ended up turning deadly when the suspect then ran from police and crashed into another innocent driver. This afternoon, Coley Stotts is charged with murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and fleeing and evading police. That crash happened at the intersection of 35th and Bank Streets last night. That's about a half mile from where police attempted the traffic stop at 33rd and Flans around 6:20.
The officer activated his emergency equipment for approximately 11 seconds. As the suspect began to flee, the officer deactivated his emergency equipment.
That's LMPD's Dwight Mitchell, and he says Scotts drove into the intersection at 35th and Bank Streets. A car unrelated to the incident was also pulling into the intersection and had the right-of-way when it was hit by the fleeing car. Both drivers were taken to U of L Hospital for their injuries. The driver who was hit died. And a man was sentenced today to 20 years for attacking his neighbors with a machete back in 2022. One man died and 2 women were seriously hurt. Elvis Anderson was found guilty of murder last year. That attack happened in July of 2022 on Garland Avenue. According to court documents, Anderson walked up to the house next door with a wooden stick. And then Anderson took a machete from the victim, Devon Banks. Banks was killed in the attack and 2 women were hurt. Anderson was sentenced to 20 years for murder and 2 counts of assault.
Happening late today in a news conference, the former Louisville Metro Council member and Jefferson County Public School high school teacher Kumar Rashad is now defending himself after being reassigned. JCPS said he was reassigned from his teaching duties at Breckenridge Metropolitan High back in October and put on non-instructional duties. JCPS never specified why he was reassigned, but today Rashad said he broke up a fight between 3 students. 2 boys, he said, were attacking a girl. The 2 boys then allegedly told officials he was physical with them. Rashad spoke about the mental toll that this process has put on him.
4 weeks before, I just been celebrated the Kentucky Teacher of the Year, so that was the highest point of my life. And then to go from that roller coaster to what is the lowest point of my life is very difficult.
Rashad says the district cleared him in October, but he has not been back on the job until tomorrow. He believes JCPS needs a much faster process when teachers are cleared of wrongdoing. Rashad is currently looking to serve as vice president of the Jefferson County Teachers Association. And a Louisville Metro Council member is issuing an apology tonight after posting some choice language about the new director for Louisville Metro Animal Services.
Councilwoman Jennifer Chappell, who represents District 15, took to social media to voice her frustrations with Mayor Greenberg and the decision-making process around selecting the new LMAS director. Ozzie Gibson was tapped to take over the position from being the interim director at TARC. Now, Chappell posted on her Instagram with choice words about Gibson taking that position, echoing the sentiment, "Are you kidding me?" Now she's issuing an apology for her actions. In a statement, Chappell says, "As an elected official, it's my duty to represent the interests of our community faithfully and honorably. Regrettably, I have fallen short of the standards I have set for myself and that my constituents expect of me."
And she continues to say, "My colleagues and I have been advocating for the administration for positive change at LMAS, and to be completely left in the dark about such a big decision is disappointing." End quote. She goes on to advocate for a national search for a new director in Louisville, saying that if Ozzie Gibson is determined to be the most qualified candidate after a national search, she will support that decision. And we're getting closer to knowing when Louisville Metro Council will have a new trial for the removal of Councilmember Anthony Piagentini. The Metro Council will meet for the first time of the year on January 18th. That's next week, next Thursday. Councilmember Piagentini was found guilty of 6 ethics violations by allegedly using the public office to leverage a new job. And the council spokesperson tells us today that they will then choose the dates to launch a new hearing should he be removed from Metro Council. Again, that will, as they meet for the first time next Thursday. The U.S. Department of Labor says 1,600 Indiana workers are owed more than $1.2 million in back wages that haven't been recovered. That's about $750 per person. The department says the money goes unclaimed because a lot of the workers can't be located, and that could be due to a number of factors like an employee changing jobs, a change in address, or somebody changing their name. The U.S. Department of Labor has an online tool to help you recover wages, and you can find that on a link on your screen just by going to WHAS11.com.